Hello, and welcome to ATLATL Live. My name is Katherine Jacoby, and I am the marketing manager at ATLATL. Today is an exciting day for the team, and we're glad that you stopped by to share it with us. We have some great stuff to show you, and we're excited for the launch of ATLATL Visual. But before we get started, I'd like to invite our CEO, Justin Scott, to join me. Hi, Justin.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Are you excited for today?
I'm really excited for today. I'm excited to talk about our launch, and thanks for making some time to chat with me.
Yeah. So today is the official launch of ATLATL Visual, which is the next generation of visual configuration software, and what we feel is going to be a game changer for brands looking to compete in e-commerce.
That's right. That's right. So this is really expansion of our visual platform. And if you're not familiar with ATLATL, ATLATL is a immersive technology that leverages 3D and AR to create buyer experiences that creates brand affinity and also drives conversions for the client. So in response to the market, we're advancing our capabilities specifically in performance, in fidelity, and interactivity to keep up with exceeding buyer need in the marketplace, specifically in digital.
So we're really looking forward to 2021 and everything we have planned. I do think it's worth talking about 2020 for just a minute. I know it's kind of a crazy year, but we saw so much change across industries, and especially in the area of commerce. Even though 2020 is gone, there's a lot of changes that I think are going to be at least somewhat permanent when it comes to how people shop.
Yeah, I think the highest level, the way to think about it is, the internet brought abundance of information to consumers, to buyers. So we went from kind of APEC information where you had to search locally, usually offline, to an abundance of information with the internet. And that provides a lot of choice for buyers. And when buyers have choice, clients, sellers need to acquire that attention. And so if you look at the growth rate of commerce over the last 10 years, it's been growing exceptionally fast. I think we all know that. But in 2020, I would call it a tectonic shift in how people access information. To use the metaphor, you used to have to get a key to get in your car, to go someplace, to research, discover, and buy a product. Now, our laptop or these devices are really the keys to information. We don't need to shop locally. We can shop even internationally. And that's how people discover information. And when they discover information, they have increasingly expectations on what that information is. And at the meta level, that's what ATLATL is trying to accomplish, is take those senses from an offline experience and transpose them online so buyers generate more confidence in those selections and choices when they're customizing or configuring a product.
Yeah, it's also interesting. Do you think we've seen a shift not only in the volume of what people are willing to buy online, but also the types of products? There's definitely, especially larger products that people would have normally gone in store to try out and test, that we've seen that they're now willing to buy online. But to your point, you're missing out on that in-store experience in a lot of e-commerce experiences.
Yeah, I don't use the word tectonic shift lightly. I think we were changing our digital behaviors. Obviously, people that grew up with the internet, that's how they start. When I say start purchase decisions. Baby boomers, that segment maybe a little less. It went from a pretty steep curve of change to abrupt change. It went from a nice to have to an imperative. And so when you have sudden stop economics and people are forced to virtually sell, businesses have to contemplate revenue optimization, right? So we kind of see three categories. You kind of have the digital native brands that are new entrants into old product categories. and they kind of grew up with digital and digital first, and maybe a direct consumer is their initial strategy. In the middle, we kind of have people that are advancing their digital savviness. Um, they've gone from kind of making digital transformations to making digital a necessity. We talk a lot about digital has become revenue resiliency, and those conversations are accelerating pretty fast because CEOs have felt the impact of, in some cases, what sudden stop economics can do to a business. And what I mean by that is people aren't going into stores. They're not going to parking lots. They're not test driving vehicles. And what we've seen is we didn't think people would buy cars online 10 years ago. People are doing that now with the Carvana effect. You're seeing big players in the space, big aggregators like Amazon, increasing the average order size. And so, what we really hope to do again is create that confidence, create that relationship between the product and the buyer, and to the best of our ability, create digital trust. And if there is brand equity, if there is that digital trust in the object, then the buyer is more readily willing to buy higher priced goods because they trust, but also because of convenience. I think in a very complex world, and arguably 2020 is the most complex year I've ever been a part of, people want simplicity. They want to have a value-based purchase, but if you can have it delivered to your door and you trust that you're getting what you think you are, then we'll be able to perform well for our commerce partners. So what's the benefit? What's the benefit to clients? Well, number one is conversion. It is embedding an experiential buyer's journey into transactional capabilities. The internet's been really good at moments of transactions, but are they memorable, right? Is it just reviews and price, or is there brand expressionism? Is there ability to customize what I want at scale? Can I create that confidence on a high value item such that we don't have to return, right? I think one of the big negative aspects of e-commerce, and something that we haven't really figured out, is we don't want to be in the reverse supply chain game, right? Amazon can do, yeah, Amazon can do that because they have incredible power, and they're probably leaders in doing that. But other clients and companies don't want to be in the reverse supply chain game, and that means increased buyer confidence with visualization.
Right, because I believe the stat for returns on e-commerce is up to 30% of items are returned compared to 8 to 10% in physical stores, which might not seem that drastic, but when you're talking about billions and millions of packages and dollars spent shipping and then shipping back, that adds up pretty quickly, especially for brands that aren't the size of Walmart or Amazon or Target.
We see bigger brands that we've mentioned before starting to leverage this technology. So we hope to give a competitive advantage, or at least the ability to compete with these big players, such that clients that we serve can create that brand expression, create memorable conversions at that point of monetization, and decrease conversions. There's also another benefit that bears mentioning, which is product sets, or buying different products and combinations that work together. And our technology helps put those different configurable items together in one product solution that customers can take advantage of as well.
Yeah, creating that whole picture, especially things like as people are doing more home projects or adding to their home offices, it's nice to be able to see what the entire package will look like instead of kind of piecemealing it together and hoping that it looks like what you think it's going to look like when it arrives.
Yeah, people don't want to hope. They want to know. And, the advancements that the industry has seen in virtual reality, the advancements that the industry is seeing in augmented reality, the technology is there. such that it's really hard to tell the difference between a digital model and the real thing. To speak to another, what I call a big box, but Apple recently launched the iPhone 12, and they launched it with configuration. They're providing their customers more choice, more confidence, which helps that purchase, but it also helps the purchase be unique. I think with all that abundance of choice that I mentioned, access to information, that people want the products they want, but they want them to express their own personality. I remember when the iPhone first came out, it was black and white, right? And now you can customize it with different colors to meet your own personal aesthetic.
Yeah, mine's blue.
Really?
It is. It's a dark blue. It's not like the colors they came out with a couple of years ago. It's the new blue. But yeah, I have always had a black or white phone. And when the blue came out, I was like, oh, that is what I want. And when I was looking online at the different phones, that is the one that was drawing to me. But I never would have thought about that. If I had walked into the store and they were like, okay, well, the black one's on display, I probably would have just picked the black one. So that's a big thing too, is if you have the option to showcase all of your products, that is a great opportunity for brands. And I think there's also an opportunity that we haven't talked about, that this technology doesn't have to solely exist in the shopping from your couch experience. There is a benefit too for kind of that hybrid experience of, if I see something in store that I like, but they don't have the color that I want in stock, how do I validate that I know that I want that color that they say they can get me eventually?
Uh, Stocking the shelves is another costly event for a merchandiser. And the ability to have what I call customization at scale. So all the parameters of a product that a merchant can produce can be viewed, it can be configured, and it can be confirmed that is within their supply chain to produce. Now, the difference there from a mechanism standpoint is that's proactive, right? As a buyer, I'm telling you what I'm going to want. Limitless selection, right, versus limited selection. And with limited selection, I can inform the buyer on what my configuration choice for that product is, versus you guessing or using reactive data, right? So past data to say, okay, in 2019, our segment looks like Catherine bought blue iPhones, right? But with reactive data, you're behind the curve always, right? So proactive data allows for marketing insight. It allows for trend analysis. It allows for you to spot getting in front of the curve, so you're in front of what products need to be produced from your supply chain.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing, especially as you look at logistics. I think 2020 really speaks to that, of being ahead of the curve and being able to plan trends ahead of time, so that if we have another logistical situation, you're not scrambling to try and catch up. And I think that's something that a lot of brands struggled with in 2020, was they knew what their clients wanted in the moment, but that takes product planning time, and they didn't have that time.
Yeah, you're seeing supply chain problems all over right now, right? So anything from occasionally paper towels to lumber to other retail goods. So we think in that in that customer data profile, are connecting all the dots from discovery to delivery. There's a digitization that's going on, and then that data can speak to different departments for efficiency. So while we focus more on brand experience, on product selection and choices, on conversions at the front end of kind of a buyer's journey, there's downstream effects where the data can be used for insights and incremental cost efficiencies. And I think the industry is starting to really wake up on connecting those different datas at different node segments of the buyer's journey.
Yeah, you really have to be able to keep up. I think that's one thing that for anyone checking out this technology or checking out our site, this can seem like a huge lift. A lot of times, if you're trying to implement a new system, requires a lot of budget, a lot of time, a lot of hands on deck. But I think that's one major advantage that will be exciting for people coming to ATLATL is that it doesn't necessarily have to be this huge lift because of the way that we have set up the system and how we are looking to work with brands.
Yeah. I think about what you want to invest in, right? As a product owner, as a marketer, it makes logical sense to me that you would invest in your product. You are trying to sell product. And so marketers spend a good bit of money off owned and operated sites. Um, my opinion is that you should invest on sites that you own, and you should invest on what you're trying to ultimately accomplish, which is move product. And customers only hit your website to discover more about your product. And so 3D and AR are just advancements in our ability in mediums to display those products. So it doesn't have to be complicated. If you're going to be innovative, you would think you'd want to do it around those moments of monetization where you've already brought that person to the place where you're giving their offering. And investing in that has a multitude of effects. Right? We talked about conversion. We talked about decrease in returns. We talked about increasing average order size with multiple products. But there's also an efficiency that you're not bouncing, right? One of the big issues is people always, and I'm guilty of this. I save something to the cart and I abandon it. I'll get it later because I'm unsure, or I just don't know, or in some cases products have only have one or two pictures and it doesn't quite communicate what that product object is or really the benefit of that purchase. And so by earning that attention with the buyer, right, you gain more revenue. We recommend that you start with some of your top products. You don't need to start with your entire portfolio, and test and learn. Marketers are great at testing and learning, and the numbers are incredibly powerful on the impact to the top line and bottom line of using what we call 3D commerce or product visualization, in addition to AR, to deliver on those customer needs.
Well, with that in mind, I think it might be time to bring in James Townsend, our VP of Product, to talk a little bit more about how we create experiences for our clients and maybe even see a little sneak peek of the product.
Well, visual configuration leveraging state-of-the-art in-browser 3D technologies represents a turning point in providing visually rich shopping experiences to consumers and elevates the level of trust between producers and their consumers to a new level. With an emphasis on performance, realism, and key interactivity through ATLATL Visual, you can now put the process of product discovery confidently at your consumer's fingertips. Interaction, exploration, and decision can now all occur in the comfort of our own homes, either by necessity, by convenience, or as a strategic part of your brand's experience. ATLATL Visual provides compelling visuals, but also guides the consumer through product choices and options, giving the user creative freedom to make the product theirs. Embedded into your website to match your brand experience, ATLATL Visual is a seamless part of your shopping experience and in many cases, the showcase. It doesn't end there. Advanced in-browser augmented reality allows your consumers to see the product come to life wherever they may be on whatever device they may be using. Snap, share, and virtually experience the product with friends, family, or to the world through your favorite platform. Whether you're a digitally native brand or in the process of a digital transformation, whether your product options are few or seemingly endless, whether your product is found in a store, a dealer, or online, there is a visual configuration experience which will help your consumers and your business thrive in the era of home shopping and beyond. So why now? With recent advances in technology, Accelerated through the demands of online commerce experiences, we've arrived at a unique convergence and opportunity for you to stand out amongst your competition. And today, on behalf of the ATLATL team worldwide, we're excited to share the experience of the ATLATL Visual platform with you.
Awesome. Thank you, James. There's no doubt that this technology is hugely advantageous to any brand competing in e-commerce. But we want to take this moment to also showcase some of the awesome work that our team behind the scenes has been doing. So we've gathered a few of our team members to showcase exactly what they've been working on and what it'll mean for your brand in 2021.
Deeply understanding your product is key to crafting an experience that best represents your product. ATLATL's experts are here to help you navigate the first steps in this exciting consumer world. We'll work closely with your brand experts to complement your expertise.
Don't settle for linear trade-offs between performance and realism. Let configurability work in your favor. Come out of the gate with your best configuration to compel and engage as quickly as possible. The ATLATL Visual platform anticipates how customers will interact with your product and prioritizes their experience accordingly. Make it easy for your shoppers to engage at their pace.
One of the biggest disappointments with online shopping is when you receive an item that doesn't look like the picture online. We don't take shortcuts with our 3D models. We make products look as fantastic on the site as when they arrive to the consumer. Make sure the quality of your customer's experience matches the quality of your product. With our 3D models, your visual experience will make a great impression and give your customers the confidence to buy.
Extend the experience. Complete your experience by sharing it with others or exploring it in the real world with Snapshot and augmented reality. Compare the options, share with friends, and show off your latest purchase before it even arrives.
I don't know about all of you, but I now have the urge to go shopping. As impressive as the tech is, I think we're most proud of our entire team, and we can't wait to serve all of our clients in 2021 and beyond. Be sure to check out all of our demos on atlatl.com and reach out to find out exactly how we can bring your brand to the forefront of e-commerce. Stay tuned and we'll see you next time on ATLATL Live. Thanks for joining.